Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. Uh, Always appreciate everybody for the years. If you've been listening for weeks, if this is your first episode, always appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. This is the episode, the vault, episode 30. This is actually 305. Your relationships, your network slash relationships equals your net worth. So we definitely look forward to going over this topic today with people that are listening live or listening to replay. Uh, there's always people that, they just ask these type of questions because a lot of people aren't exposed when it really comes down to it. A lot of people are not exposed to the mentorship relationships, the relationships that they want to ultimately have. And so, the vault has stood as a pillar in the community for years. Uh, Talking about those relationships, the relationships you need, whether it's with lawyers, whether it's accountants, and talking about, the questions to ask to interview the best lawyers, the best accountants, things of that nature. So we're definitely gonna make it a point to go over this topic today. Your net worth, your network slash relationships equals your net worth. Just a very simple topic to talk about. Just because so many people have asked this question for years about getting in the private sector, finding out the private relationships. It's not so easy to get into the private sector or get those private relationships, whether it's with a private attorney or not. We see people all the time that say, "Oh, trust Christian Vault. We want to find a private attorney." Well, Google it. Whatever country you're in. And so, we just wanted to talk about that level of thought process today because so many people are perturbed and disappointed that in all actuality, that is the case. You have to establish private relationships with private people. They may not be on the internet. And so, this episode is really going to talk about the private workshop that we have coming up on the May 1st in Atlanta because it is a workshop to let people know, look, you know, when it comes down to it for you in your life, uh, your network, the people that you want to associate with, you have to go seek those people. Specifically in the beginning, especially when you're looking to change your peer group and things of that nature. So many people say, okay, we need to improve our network. We need to improve our network. Well, if you have to improve your network, you're going to have to change association. Uh, and that sometimes is not the easiest thing. A lot of times people say, oh, uh, how do I get around these people? Where are these people at? And things of that nature. But they're out there, ladies and gentlemen. They have high net worth investor events all the time, ladies and gentlemen. They have high net worth investor conferences. Some people say, do you have to have, $25 million in the bank? Do you have to have, all of this different, stuff and things of that nature? And in all actuality, you don't. You have to associate with these people. You have to get in their environment. And, that's something that we've seen people fall off throughout the years. They're really not excited about that type of thought process. And so we want that to be very much so known that when you're out dealing nowadays, you have to invest in relationships. Investing in a relationship means you're going to invest capital to go to the events where you're wanting to associate with these people. High net worth investors, they may not do it in your city. They usually do it in most major cities. High net worth investor conferences are held in usually your major cities: New York, Dallas, Chicago, uh, LA, DC. Those are your major markets in the states. You can see them hold them in other countries. So you do see them hold them in LATAM countries for sure. Uh, and they hold them in European countries. Maybe not as many European countries as they used to have a lot more high net worth investor networking environments. They're still satellite, very much so. Very, it's just the way it is nowadays. When you look into these high net worth investor conferences, but they're all over, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to Google these things. And if you're not in the country, you can use whatever search platform. But your network slash relationships equals your net worth, meaning that when you have relationships that you can depend on, people that you can call to, people that you can ask questions to, and things of that nature. That's very, very important in the business sector nowadays. And it's always been important in the business sector. We've seen this from our mentors through and through. Tell us, your relationships are very, very important. So don't burn those relationships. And that's why it's so important, because we have so many uh, uh, people in our environment that will literally say they will not burn a relationship for anyone. And this is where it comes into, wow, how valuable is that relationship? You know, that's what it comes down to. Are you willing to burn something that you're not willing to burn? And we talk to so many entrepreneurs that don't understand the subtlety of that. They don't understand the subtlety of it. And it's just so unfortunate that so many investors around the world, they just are not able to get the relationships that they need. And a lot of the times they're asking, well, how do I get the relationships I need? You get the relationships you need by investing and traveling and putting in the miles. Where you're, period. You're traveling and putting in the miles. And so, so many people, they don't put in the miles. And that's the bottom line. So many people are not putting in the miles, and in turn, how can you expect the result of meeting the relationships you meet? It's interesting because even some of the people that we feature here on the vault, all of them have come from traveling. None of them have come from sitting at home expecting an investor to just show up to at your door, expecting a potential business partner to show up at your door. We're living in this age of internet where everybody wants to do Zoom meetings, Skype meetings, and all these different things, but that will never replace the face-to-face interaction that's necessary for people to have the confidence to give you money, ladies and gentlemen. For people to give you the confidence to do business with you, ladies and gentlemen. That has not been replaced in 2021 and before and beyond. That will not be replaced by these artificial means of communication. People say, "Oh, well, they're going to want to do AR and VR and be in some virtual reality and have a business meeting." We're not denying that, but seeing someone's physical face and actually being there, there is a old guard in place right now that will force people to meet them face to face, especially when you're talking about millions of dollars and billions of dollars plus to get. Bottom line, are you willing to travel to get that money? Because and travel to get those relationships. That's what it comes down to. Are people willing to take the time to get the relationships? Invest the money to get the relationships. It's definitely about relationships. Appreciate the Bronx for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to the Bronx for tuning in live, listening to replay, listening to the Vault 305, episode 305. Your network slash relationships equals your net worth. Shout out to West Palm Beach. Appreciate West Palm Beach for tuning in live, listening to replay. That's West Palm Beach, Florida. Tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to West Palm Beach, Florida. Oh, Judge Christian, you know, we don't know if these relationships are fugazi. We don't know all of that. Yeah, you say you don't know all of that. But in all actuality, are you going to travel to invest in risk, which an entrepreneur has to do? You have to risk. You have to risk getting your feelings hurt. You have to risk losing money as an investor. So when you're traveling, you're risking. Now, are you going to answer that call to say, I got to travel to get this network, these relationships, so I can increase my network? Why? Because when you find that private lawyer, you're in. When you find the accountant for you, you're in. When you're able to find that real estate attorney, you're in. It may take you a year. It may take you a few months to find a lawyer that you need. What is so abnormal about that? What's abnormal about it? Investing to find the relationships that are necessary in order to further your family's legacy and estate. We have a workshop that comes up. We do quarterly workshops. How many private events have you been invited to where you're in an environment with private trustees? That's what we ask people. Have you been in those environments? They're advertising over the internet sometimes, those private environments, but not always. Not always. They have a high pay price to entry. People say, "Oh, $1,000." Usually, tickets are more than $1,000. Usually, for you go to any charitable gala, usually they're charging, 500 a plate plus. 500 a plate plus for you to go in there and spend money at a gala, not invest in your education. To spend money in a gala, to give somebody else money. Maybe you get a gift or something, but they have silent auctions at these things. And we're talking about your network. Why would you not invest in going to a charitable gala when you're in trusteeship where you got to make money giving it away? Once again, you got to go to the charitable gala so you can make money giving it away. But how you making money giving it away if you're not hanging around people that do that? They make money giving it away. How many people are making money giving it away? Are they in that type of position in trusteeship? We got Clarence L. tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to you, Clarence. Says they're coming to the workshop. Look forward to hearing from you. If you all want to get connected with the workshop, it's Christian@trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian@trustchristian.com. That's the email you guys can reach out. You'll get the flyer sent to you. You'll move forward from that particular perspective, and you guys can go forward from there. Definitely look forward to serving anyone that comes to the workshop. It's always going to be, a blast. We've always had a blast with people that have come through, um, and that's for years now. So it's nothing new. It's just we're finally getting back to the workshops, obviously, because you know we were dealing with this pandemic thing, and so we're back on track. We're doing our first workshop of the year. It's May 1st. It's going to be in Atlanta. It is open to non-trustees. The events are always set up for trustees, so a lot of times, a lot of people ask, how is it really beneficial and things of that nature. It's beneficial more towards the trustees, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, and that's the most important thing. Is the trustees getting the information that they need. So, some people may say, oh, I don't know how this is going down. I wish I could come or I could be a part of this or whatever, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's all on you all, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to serving and working with anybody that uh, is looking to come through the workshop. You all can feel free to reach out, Christian@trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian@trustchristian.com. Um, but what are we talking about at the workshop? One second here. Um, what are we talking about at the workshop? We're gonna have a private family banker in the building. We're gonna have a financial planner in the building. We're gonna have a uh, an accountant in the building, an enrolled agent in the building. These are people that can verify that you're not doing anything illegal. But everybody still, what are you coming to this with an air of skepticism for? Oh no, I heard about the guy Trust Christian in the vote, and we're trying to listen and hear about all of these things. But did you go to the episode with the enrolled agent? Do you know what an enrolled agent is? You know. Appreciate Daniel Beach, Florida, for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to Daniel Beach. Beautiful development down there. Definitely great. Definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to type into the chat where you're listening live or listening to replay from. Always appreciate it. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, the association is critical. Trust Christian in the vault. We were born in a great area. Sometimes you have to leave the area that you're in to go get the information that you need for your family, ladies and gentlemen. Is it a level of risk that's involved? Yes. Do you go off slight recommendations? Yes. People think that the internet's not real. People think that the relationships to the internet is not real. But everyone on this line that's listening through the YouTube, you all connected with the vault, the ones that make it to the workshops, the ones that make it to the workshops, they've connected with the vault through the internet. Period. Most of the people that connect with the vault, specifically at the workshops, are through the internet. So it's a very real environment. The internet has some validity to it. Just because you don't see people's face or you have flashy information, you don't have all the bells and whistles, but you're just giving out the books, the black and the white, and keeping it moving. That's the most important thing, is keeping it moving and giving out the black and the white. But for some odd reason, because that's the law, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about trusteeship, you're talking about the law. Appreciate Oakland, California. Shout out to Oakland, California. Oakland, California, a beautiful place in the world. Always feel free to check out West Oakland, particularly West Oakland. But check out, Oakland, California, beautiful place. Shout out to Oakland, California. Your network slash relationships equals your net worth. Your net worth. Okay, how does your net worth look? Oh, people talk about, oh, Trust Christian, I can't get a bank account with these rich banks out here, these private wealth banks. They say I got to be worth $1 million in money. Okay, but do you have an insurance policy that's worth that? Did you know your insurance policy counts as your net worth? Do you know that your 401ks and IRAs and all those other things count as a part of your net worth, even though you don't have it disposable? Did you don't have it completely liquid, that is not completely taxable yet? I mean, it's not taxed yet? Oh, I didn't know that. How does that look, ladies and gentlemen? You have a situation here where you have your net worth tied to assets, but those people are assets to those relationships. So you may have to put out on the front end to go find those relationships, to go to the workshop, to find the people in the room that are in your area. It's a private environment. None of the trustees have been trained to shout out, oh, I'm a trustee and I'm living out here. They don't type that. They just type into the chat where they're listening from. They're not going to tell you that they're a trustee. They're trustees listening right now. But in the chat, they type what area they're from. So when you come to the workshop, you can say, okay, these are people from the Bronx. These are people from West Palm Beach, Florida. These are people from Dania Beach, Florida. These are people from Oakland, California. These are people that are in the room in Atlanta, International Airport area. People are traveling from all over the country. Of course it's real. It's been real for years. Of course you're going to get valuable information. Sometimes people get so much valuable information, they don't know what to do with it type deal. But you get what you pay for. The relationships are in the room. Not only are you getting the information, you're getting the relationships. Lifelong relationships. We've had trustees do business together. How many people on your job do you want to do business with? How many people on your job would you be willing to do business with? So when you see business, you have to invest in the relationships. People in trust deal with people in trust. That's that. Oh, Trust Christian, I didn't go through the trustee training program, but I'm in trust. You can still go to the workshop and establish those relationships. Because people in trust deal with people in trust. But for some odd reason, we got people that contact the vault and say, oh, I'm in trusteeship, Trust Christian, but I didn't go through your trust system, Trust Christian, and the vault. So, what do? I don't know how to work the system. So you're in trusteeship, but you don't know how to work it. You don't have those relationships. You say, oh, I don't know too many people that are doing this. My family and friends, they're not joining me in this endeavor. I'm trying to convince them still. You're trying to convince your family and friends, huh? Instead of you convincing your family and friends, we set up a system in place so you can deal with people in trust. They actually took the time to learn the subject matter. That took the time to say, why do you think the foundations have the 5% giveaway rule? It's because Bill and Melinda Gates work with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett works with them. They give money back and forth to each other. They're not giving money away to anybody. They're giving money away to each other. People in trust deal with people in trust. You think Bill and Melinda's not in trust? You think Warren Buffett's not in trust? Of course they're in trust. People in trust deal with people in trust. That's why you attend the workshop. Because your network / relationships equals your net worth. The relationships. Some people say, "Oh, Trust Christian, I haven't came to the workshop in a year. I haven't been around the program in a long time. I need to get around the program, Trust Christian. I need to be able to, get around people that are in the same type of, thought process." Well, here you go now. You have an event. You have a workshop coming up. You say, "Oh, wow. Well, what are there lawyers in the room?" They're private. You can find out. Are there accountants in the room? We're showing you that we're willing to bring forth the trustees that are in training. They actually are dealing with accounting. Enrolled agent. But what's going to stop people? Is it the ticket? Oh, you going on vacation this year? Are you investing in your private family education? Or are you going on vacations? Trustees make the people that come to the workshops, they make that a vacation. You got to invest in your private education. There's no way around it. The faster you lack your private education, the faster you're going to lack the relationships that you need. And these things go hand in hand. When you invest in the relationships, you get the education. When you invest in the education, you get the relationships. And that's what equals your net worth, because you're building a solid network. You're building a solid network of lawyers, of accountants, a team of people. When people talk about business, business is a team sport. How are you going to build something that you're not playing as a team? Oh, Trust Christian, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. You're right. You got to build the team. You got to be the leader for the area that you're in. That's what you got to do. And so we're here to serve. We're here to say, okay, we can facilitate those type of environments because people in trust deal with people in trust. Just like they have a chamber of commerce for business, we have a private trust community that trustees can communicate in. You meet someone face to face. We don't force the relationships on trustees. They come together face to face. Oh, that's that guy, Cornell the trader. Okay. For years, people have tried to get in on the private trustee training workshops. Well, we're opening it back up to not just non-trustees, to not just trustees, but we're opening it up to non-trustees for this workshop. There are times we will not open it up. We will have advanced trustee training. If you're not in trusteeship, if you haven't gone through the program, it's no need to go over anything. We have trustees that they gone through the program and they want advanced relationships. Sometimes after you get past the knowledge, you get to the relationships. And that's where we're here to serve. The Vault, episode 305. Your network/relationships equals your net worth. And that's always been the case in business. It's always been the case in investing. Your relationships. Are you willing to meet other potential business partners face to face? Or does everything have to be behind some type of communications tool? It can't. The type of money that we're talking about and the environment that we're talking about, it's not going to work. It has to be a level of investing in face to face relationships. How many of you all would do business with people that you haven't really, and we're talking about investing big money now, not little money, big money, 10,000 plus, 15,000, 20,000, 100,000. The small investors might not do 20. They might do less than that, but let's talk about the people that are going to actually do something where you have to invest in the relationships, because there's so many things that can go wrong. You got to have the relationships that can cover you, because there's so much to know. The higher you go with money, the more of a relationship you have to have with people. Why? Because you can't be the lawyer, you can't be the accountant, you can't be this. And see, when you're dealing with small business, that's why they call it small business. Everyone's trying to wear every hat. You can't do that in big business. You can't do that in trusteeship. Trusteeship is a fiduciary of relationships, of a trust with the trustee, with the beneficiaries. You're the fiduciary, you're the intermediary. That's why the trustee training workshops are so critical, because they give you the opportunity to meet other people that are in environments that you want to be in, or you're going in, or you're already in, and you can work with them. They're just a networking session. We do the training through telecommunications, but the relationship aspect of it can never be neglected. We've had people for years tell us that the workshops face to face are one of the most important elements of the trustee training. Why? Because it allows people to get that in-depth feel to see you face to face, going through the laws, taking the pictures, writing the notes down, and the relationships to see that it's real. Trustee training is real. It's for relationships. It's not just, oh, I'm getting in this for to minimize my liability. Remember, you're giving up liability relationships. You got to move into a position where you're finding asset relationships. Not just liability relationships, limited liability relationships. We're talking about asset relationships. That's what increases your net worth. Is that relationships that allow you to increase your net worth through the relationship, the partnership, the deals they have available. We make deals available. We have relationships in our network. We understand this. We were talking to a mentor actually yesterday, and so many people say, "Oh, Trust Christian, you're hard on trustees. You're hard on people." We sat there and talked to our mentor yesterday. We heard a slur word come out of their mouth almost every other sentence because they were relaxed and they were comfortable and they were able to say the truth. We got the unadulterated truth out of that mentor, whether they were slurring or cussing or not. We got the unadulterated truth. We got the truth of the harsh realities of the market, how it can wipe you out overnight, how you can lose wealth overnight, how you cannot be in a position that you need to be in, how you cannot be protected, how you can make bad decisions. They were sharing bad decisions. So you have a mentor at a comfortable position when they're sharing with you their losses, because everybody wants to share with you the victories. But what about when you buy those relationships and you find out how not to lose? Everybody wants to not lose in trusteeship. You don't want to lose, right? So you got to get around mentors. You got to invest in relationships where people have done things wrong, so they can share with you the things that they did wrong, and you don't actually do them. But you got to pay for that. You got to pay for that relationship. You got to get them comfortable where they going to kick their feet up and say, well, I'm not just going to sit on here and mentor you and tell you all the great things I've done. Sure, I've managed millions of dollars and billions of dollars. But, I'm only going to tell you that aspect of it. I'm going to be super trader of the year and only tell you all the good trades I made. But what about the bad trades you made? What about the losses you took in life? What about the bad decisions you made as a trustee? And that's when we hear the truth. So we might hear a little cigar talk. We might hear a little whiskey talk. We might hear a couple, non PG-13 words. Because they relaxed. You pay for the relationship. They don't have an obligation. They just feel comfortable with you to share with you the truth. The truth. We need the truth. We don't need the money. You need the truth. You got to stand on truth and principles. That's what makes you the money. A work ethic makes you money. People sold pet rocks and made money. So it's not about the money. It's about the relationships and the knowledge that you get. Good knowledge and bad knowledge. What knowledge base do you have? How do you get those? How do you get the so-called, oh, this is the negative. Oh, oh, these are the bad things that I've done, the bad decisions that I've made. So you don't make the same bad decisions. So you can say, okay, let me avoid this bad decision. Somebody asked in the chat, are you able to enroll for the mentorship or trustee training at the workshop? Of course, you can always do that. I mean, it's always going to be the same, process anyways. It's all through, computer communications and, signing contracts of non-confidentiality and things of that nature. Confidentiality agreements, things of that nature. But, of course, your network / relationships equals your network. Of course, this is a classic cheap cliche, but let's go here. Let's go here. We're going to go there. Let's go there. See, if you're supposed to be equal to the 5 closest people to you that you associate with on a regular basis, this is the well, ladies and gentlemen, at the vault, we know about the 6 degrees of separation. You all don't even know you're 6 degrees away from meeting your best friend. You're 6 degrees away from meeting your rich friend. You're 6 degrees away from meeting the client that you need. You're 6 degrees away from meeting anything you need. They've calculated this. This is scientific information. You can go research it. These people have been paid a lot of money to do this 6 degree stuff, and they actually say because of the internet that it's less than 6 degrees. Before the internet, it was 6 degrees. They did this study. Then they did this study again, and they actually say it's less than 6 degrees. That means you're less than six people away from through relationships. Keyword through relationships to meet the people you need to meet to get the dreams and goals you need to accomplish. But are you willing to go through those six people? Are you willing to go through the five people? Most people not. They're not. Are you willing to pay to go through five people? Or are you gonna quit on the fourth? To get to that fifth person, that sixth relationship. Are you willing to do that? Your relationships equal your network. So it's showing you your goals and dreams are at the end of these relationships. Everybody likes to talk about, this, that, and the third, trust, Christian, involved. But let's go here. We have relationships with private attorneys. Do you? We have relationships with the enrolled agents that we're sharing with the network. Do you? Do people have relationships with business litigation attorneys? We do. Do you have relationships with real estate attorneys? More than one? We do. Do you have uh, private family banking relationships? We do. Do you have financial advisors, ones that are in the private sector that understand private trusteeship? We do. Do you know people that are senior trustees that know how to deal with senior trust in foreign countries? The foreign trusteeship. To know how to walk in a bank and not get turned down because you're an American? We do. Appreciate Callie for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to Dallas and Jackson for tuning in live and listening to replay. Your network equals your relationships. Your network relationships equals your net worth. It's always got to be stated that way. It's a cheap cliche though, because people may not be associating with those 5 degree separation people to get them to their 6 degree. And and then when you think about the five closest people, if you just average it out, you're the average. Are you associating with that? One of the mentors, he would say, "Show me your friends. I'll show you your future." He said, "Show me your friends. I'll show you your future." But oh no, no. I had a friend from childhood. He hasn't really made much of himself. He's in and out of jail. He's still my friend. He's not gonna come to me and talk to me about, rich stuff. I know what he's coming to me about talking about staying out of jail. Or maybe going back. Do people have those type of relationships? Or do people have relationships where when you're talking to that person, you respect them enough to value their time to bring them a deal? To bring them a relationship? Are you connecting people? That's what the vault does. We connect people. That's invaluable. Not only is the network value, the connecting tools are valuable. That's the internet. The internet has its value. Ladies and gentlemen, the workshops are for you all. Trust Christian in the Vault. It's called the Vault because we already got the jewels, the gems, the precious metals, diamonds, pearls, collectible art, cars, jewelry. Those things are in the vault. They're to be in your safe. People contact the vault and say, "Oh, well, should we, be doing this or doing that? Should we be? How do we get into a private trust or things of that nature?" The private workshops give you some level. Uh, they give you some level of. They give you some level of being able to find people, connect with people. That's very very important. You get to connect with the people that are in the environment that you're going into. This isn't the pretentious workshop. It's business dress, but at the same time, People are very much so very relaxed because they understand it's Trust Christian in the Vault. They understand, that we facilitate those relationships. We push those relationships. We foster those relationships. We want people to build those relationships because people in trust deal with people in trust. It's as simple as that. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to everybody that's coming to the workshop. We know it's coming down to crunch time. It's May 1st. We gave people enough time. We told everybody last month in March, but we're in April. The workshop's on May 1st. It is one day. It's 9 to 5. So it's something that you can bring your family. Ladies and gentlemen, by the time we get to May, people aren't even going to be talking about COVID as much anymore. But we got people say, oh, I'm going to watch it if I can come with all my family. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had people come with their family throughout the years. If your family wants to wear a mask and sit in a room, it's perfectly fine. It's no big deal. So it's always been welcome to families. It's a family-oriented environment. Your family gets to see the relationships that you're fostering, husband and wives, children included. We understand the times that we're living in, so people still may be a little hesitant and things of that nature. No worries. We look forward to hearing from you when things are a lot more clearer in the air. The air doesn't have as many germs floating around in it. Whoever knows when that's going to be. But nevertheless, appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. We definitely know that somebody's tuning in live from Port Island, Louisiana. That's definitely out there in the middle of nowhere. But Port Island, Louisiana, appreciate you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Uh, you know, Definitely appreciate that. Always, just everybody's tuning in live from different places all around the world, and we appreciate it. Even with consultations. On the line the other day with someone from New Zealand. We always appreciate people that contact us from foreign jurisdictions, and are just looking to have their affairs, good to go. So. Uh, You know, Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that you don't want to miss. We're not into the sales, but we're into the relationships. We understand the power of these events. We don't want to come back after this event and be like, oh, you missed it. You're going to miss everyone. Everyone brings value, and we're actually bringing it a point to bring better relationships in the environment for everyone else in the environment. And that's what it's always been. So we look forward to connecting with people. We haven't had a workshop in almost a year. We had our last workshop in March up in the Maryland area. Um, and we definitely, uh, you know, look forward to, people coming through and, bringing their families if they choose to. And people just getting educated, but at the same time, getting away and, connecting with some other trustees is going to be a blessing. We really look forward to it. Um, it's definitely going to be a really big one just because we've had so much build up for this one. We haven't seen each other in a while. People are getting more and more familiar with each other. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. When you start getting familiar with people in an investment environment, when you start shaking people's hand, when you start breaking bread, did you know that people actually, the people when they eat together, they're more likely to do business together. That's why you see a lot of mob movies where they're always eating and they're doing business. You got to eat and do business. People are eating and doing trusteeship together. That's how it's done. But how you gonna do business with people and connect with people if you can't break bread with them? If you can't spend $50 or $100 on a meal, if $25 on a meal and eat some food with somebody that you say you want to have a lifelong relationship with? This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's business, not personal. It's family. It's relationships. Your network/relationships equals your net worth. And we could go in and talk about other things that equal your net worth. But don't forget that your relationships equal your net worth. So when people think you're burning a relationship, oh man, I'm done, I'm gone. Think about it. You got to leave people behind. Everybody's not going to be able to afford to pull up to your gated community. You got to leave people behind. They're not adding to your net worth. They're not adding to your net worth. So you got to leave them behind. You got to put people, test them to the metal. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. Wasn't that a show? Everybody wants to be a millionaire, right? But how many people are going to work to do it? It ain't too many. Because we hear people all the time going on vacation, living like they millionaires. We know some millionaires that didn't go on vacation for the first 10 years of their business. But everybody else, they went on vacations in their 20s and 30s. Our mentors didn't go on vacations before their 30s. Oh no, trust Christian. But they had the relationships that carried them over in their 30s. They had the relations that carried them over in their 40s. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to the vault. Shout out to all the listeners. Of course, you can't replace this environment. Of course, you're taking a risk. That's entrepreneur investorship. That's trusteeship. You're taking a risk as a trustee every time you take trust funds and utilize them to do something productive for the trust. It's still an investment. It's still a risk involved. But are you afraid of risk? Are you risk averse? Where at this point you're just saying, hey, I'm gonna come to a workshop and I'm actually gonna make it a point to come meet people and I'm gonna learn some information. What happened? Did people forget the value in information and education? Did people forget the value in relationships? No, they didn't. We always look forward to the right people being in the room. We know that the right people are going to be in the room. We look forward to hearing from the right people in the room and seeing the right people in the room. And we know that people are going to fly in town early. People are going to fly in town late. We could have been did a 2-day workshop. We're going to keep it one day so no one can make an excuse. Oh man, Trust Christian, the events go long. It's so hard to plan and coordinate it. It's never a good time throughout the year. It's never a good time, ladies and gentlemen. Success is inconvenient. You didn't know that? Success is inconvenient. Success is inconvenient. But people say, okay. It's on May 1st. We look forward to seeing you. The seating is limited. Christian at trustchristian.com. That's the email. Christian at trustchristian.com. We will get you the flyer. If you want to move forward with the invoice, we'll take care of you all. We look forward to seeing you all there. You guys fly in 9 to 5. You come in. You're going to hear few different speakers go over some different information. That's education. And then you also have obviously the day before, the day after, to continuously talking to people. And while you're there at the event, because it's 9 to 5, we have the opportunity to do a cocktail happy hour at the end of it, and you all can connect with each other after that. Simple as that. We look forward to seeing you and hearing from you all at this workshop. For everyone that's ever came to a workshop, the Vault and Trust Christian, we thank you all. We appreciate you all. We look forward to hearing and seeing from you all at this workshop coming up or any other workshops we do in the future. We welcome you all because we know that we've given you all tremendous value with things of that nature when it comes to the trustee training, even at the trustee training workshops. And now we're going to open this one up to the public. We're going to open it up to where, it is a private trustee training workshop. Why? Because it's education. But you're in the room now with trustees. It's not just the everybody. It's the trustees. So we're going to have law enforcement in the room. Some people don't know. They think, oh, Trust Christian, we don't know who's down with this. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We've had law enforcement in the room for years now. Cops, military, everybody at every level is trying to protect their family. You're not the only one. You have the opportunity to meet those lawyers. You have the opportunity to meet those accountants. You have the opportunity to meet those law enforcement agents. You have the opportunity to meet people that can do background checks on people. They're in the room. Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listen, replay. Feel free. Christian at trustchristian.com for the flyer to the workshop. Look